Screen has to be applied when you're indoor, when you're outdoor. It should be applied on a rainy day, on a winter day, on a sunny day, because you still have your UVA and UVB light coming and penetrating even in your offices. I would say please apply your sunscreens.
So many people, they apply sunscreen in the morning and they expect for the next 24 hours they don't need to reapply it, and it will give them protection all 24 hours.
I would say repeating sunscreen every 4 to 5 hours or once every 6 hours is definitely better than not repeating it at all.
Welcome everyone on our today's episode of the Hashtag Sunscreen Must podcast, which is all about protecting your skin and celebrating the National Sunscreen Day, which falls on May 27th this year. Sunscreen is an absolute essential no matter what time of the year it is, but with the summer season going on where global warming heat waves are very common, it is even more important. It's a great time to learn more about sun safety practices. So today in this session, we'll be discussing the importance of sunscreen, different types of sunscreen, how to apply your sunscreen, how to select the best one for you, and we'll also be debunking some commonly shared sunscreen related myths, and we'll be telling you how to apply your sunscreen in the best way possible. So today, to educate us on the fact that we have to apply sunscreen no matter what, no matter the season, not only during the summer season, we have to apply it all year round. We have the renowned dermatologist and cosmetologist, Dr. Seema Srinivas, right here with us. Welcome, Dr. Seema Srinivas.
Thank you.
As I walked into your clinic, I was so mesmerized by the views over here. It's so beautiful. I love the fact that you have such a beautiful sense of aesthetic that not only your clinic, even you are so gorgeous. And the fact that your clinic is beautiful, you yourself are beautiful, and you're making other people beautiful as well. It's amazing. So first, I'd like to ask you the secret of your beauty.
Okay, first of all, thank you, Sia, for coming and hosting me in your podcast. It's definitely an honor. And first and foremost, I'd like to talk about not beautiful skin, but healthy skin. Here we are looking at healthy skin. Beauty comes later. So we all know that skin comes with its own fair share of blemishes, pores, textures. We need to accept and make it even more aesthetically beautiful, I would say. So my skincare regime is very simple. Just use good products, maintain a healthy lifestyle, do the right things at the right time, and that's about it.
That's so nice to hear. And again, you're gorgeous.
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you.
And now, before we start our talks, I'd like to ask you more about you. Tell us more about why you chose the medical field, what made you become a doctor, and why specialization in dermatology?
So medical field, I would say I was very inspired by my parents and my entire family who've really guided me in the right direction when it comes to taking up medicine. But dermatology was a very personal choice, especially dermatology, cosmetology, aesthetic beauty. I've been very fascinated by glamour and try to give people a very healthy as well as, acceptance to be comfortable in their own skin. That is something which really drove me to take up dermatology and now practicing both dermatology and cosmetology. Yeah, that's why, I'm here doing this.
That's a beautiful initiative.
Thank you.
So recently, before we started shooting the podcast, obviously, I was reading this one article and it stated that sun exposure is the leading cause for skin cancer. Is it true?
See, it is one of the causes for skin cancer. It is not the only reason why we get skin cancer. Yes, we have UV rays, that is UVB and UVA, which both contribute in causing or aggravating skin cancers. Especially us Indians, we have skin type 3, 4, 5. We have enough melanin in us to protect us from getting skin cancers. The ones who really need to worry are the ones who have really less melanin, that is skin type 1 and 2, who really fair-skinned, your Europeans, your Westerners. We Indians are still doing well in that aspect, so we don't have to worry that much.
So even if we have the type 3 or type 4, as you said, still, if there are any ways to protect ourselves from the harmful effect of sun?
Yes, of course. Even though we have protective mechanisms in us which do protect us from skin damage and photo damage, we definitely need to use an external factor like your sunscreens to protect ourselves from not just skin cancers and photo damages, your pigmentary changes, your immediate pigment darkening, your persistent pigment darkening. All of this do have an effect on your skin, which can be drastically reduced by usage of sunscreens.
So that's the main thing we can do, wearing sunscreen.
Yes.
So there are so many available in the market. So how can we decide which one is the best for us?
So when it comes to sunscreens, what would really help in selecting a sunscreen is, first of all, you need to make sure it's a physical as well as a chemical sunscreen, which gives protection for both. Secondly, it needs to be a broad spectrum sunscreen, which not only covers protecting you from UVA rays as well as UVB rays. Thirdly, it should be aesthetically elegant. It should not leave a white cast on you. It should not look like you're wearing something, or you shouldn't look darker after you wear sunscreen. So it should blend into your skin. That is very important. Fourthly, I would say it should be non-comedogenic. That is, if you have already acne-prone skin, please do not use sunscreens that is going to aggravate it. It should be hypoallergenic. That is, it should not cause any irritation, erythema, redness onto your skin. Sixth, which I feel is definitely important, is it should be economical. It should be affordable. It should be easy on your pockets. So a sunscreen which has a combination of all these points would definitely be a good sunscreen to invest in on a regular basis.
That explanation is very informative. Okay, now that we know how to choose the right sunscreen for us, which is the right match for us, now we need to know how to apply it properly. Because many times if the consistency is not right on our face, it looks very aesthetically displeasing. So how to apply it properly on our face, and this consistency matters. So on my way, I purchased this one sunscreen. And could you please demonstrate how to apply it properly?
Sure. So it's a very good sunscreen. In fact, I use it all the time. So first of all, let me tell you, it's not how you apply it, how frequently you apply it. So initially when you start using sunscreen, if at all you're stepping out, 20 minutes before you step out, I would say start using a sunscreen. Every 3 to 4 hours, please repeat your sunscreen. If you're doing any sports or water activities, once you finish that, reapply your sunscreen, which is very important. So usually what I would say, for your face, take about 2 ml, okay, and apply it generously to your face. That is a little less than 1 teaspoon, okay. For the rest of your body, a little within a teaspoon for each arm and sun-exposed areas will work wonderfully. This sunscreen especially has lovely consistency. It works for mainly acne-prone skin, and it is not comedogenic, it's hypoallergic, and it is definitely aesthetically elegant. It doesn't leave a white cast, as you can see. You can try it on yourself. So you could see you don't have to use that much, especially for your hands, but then I think I've taken a little too much. But this is something that I would definitely recommend to most of my patients. So if you have to use it for a larger body surface, use lotion-based sunscreens. If you want to use for dry skin, use a creamy sunscreen. If you want to use for your acne-prone skin, use a gel form sunscreen, or even this, which is a gel form, will work excellently for all your, skin types.
That's a very informative demonstration. Okay, so next up, I would like to ask you, this is a very common question, I've heard it a lot. Okay, some people have just started to apply sunscreen. So is it true that sunscreen can also remove your tan?
Not really.
Okay.
But we have newer sunscreens in the market which also add a little bit of skin brightening agents which can reduce the occurrence of tan. So it not only protects you from the sun but also brightens you in the process. So we do have newer sunscreens which do that.
Okay, that's very informative. Some myths like this are always flying around the viewers and everyone. So let's debunk some commonly shared sunscreen related myths. Okay, the myth number 1 is that sunscreen blocks vitamin D absorption. Is that true?
Not really. There has been multiple studies in India and abroad that they have done it, and they've said that there is no deficiency of vitamin D when sunscreen is applied. these are studies that has been done in extremely controlled environment. And there we've seen a slight decrease in vitamin D. And here on a day-to-day basis, we do not apply sunscreen so strictly. So definitely not. Vitamin D needs a few minutes of exposure to the sun, few days in a week, and that will suffice for your synthesis.
Now, many misconceptions are flying around among our viewers, among us, everyone. And we'd love it if you debunk some of these commonly shared sunscreen-related myths. Okay. So myth number 1 is that sunscreen doesn't allow vitamin D to penetrate our skin. Is it true?
So I wouldn't completely agree with that, because vitamin D synthesis requires a few minutes of exposure in a week, 3 to 4 days in a week, and that will suffice for your vitamin D synthesis. Your sunscreens will definitely not reduce or stop vitamin D synthesis. There are multiple studies that have been done in India and abroad where they've done it in extremely controlled environment. And there we have seen that, yes, there has been a slight decrease in vitamin D synthesis. But here, when we apply sunscreen, we don't apply it so strictly and so elaborately. So no, not at all.
Okay, that's very informative. Now, as you spoke about healthy skin earlier, okay, so many people have this myth going around that healthy skin means tan skin. Like if you have a tan on your skin, it means that you have a healthy skin. Tell me more about it.
So it actually doesn't work like that, Sia. So why does one get tan? Whenever you have a little bit of sun exposure, you have a lot of melanin in your skin that gets, stimulated, and it forms a protective layer on your skin to kind of protect you from the sun's harmful rays. Little bit of tan when you go to the beach and get a nice tan, it's definitely, it looks beautiful. But over tanning, like in tan beds, or overexposing yourself to sun by laying on the beach and sunbathing, definitely no. Tan does not mean healthy skin.
Okay. That's another myth busted.
Yeah.
Now for the next myth, many people, they don't apply sunscreen every day. They just say when it's a sunny day, like it's literally heating up and it's sunny out there, then only you should apply sunscreen. So is it true, or is it just...
No, not at all. Sunscreen has to be applied when you're indoor, when you're outdoor. It should be applied on a rainy day, on a winter day, on a sunny day, because you still have your UVA and UVB light coming and penetrating even in your offices. I would say please apply your sunscreens. So no, this doesn't work if you apply it once in a while. Regular, everyday basis, you need to apply sunscreen, and that's when you'll actually be able to see the benefits of sunscreen and stop photo damage.
That's very informative. Now the next myth, it's very common because so many sunscreens are available in the market. We always get to hear this a lot, that SPF 50 or more is the only effective sunscreen that there is. Others like 30 or anything, that's not effective. Only 50 or above 50, that's only effective. So is that true?
So first, let's talk about SPF. SPF is your sun protection factor, especially against your UVB rays, that is the rays that burn you. So what does SPF tell you? That how long it takes when you do not apply sunscreen for your skin to burn. So when you use an SPF of 50, it gives you about 94% protection. Your SPF 30 gives you 97% protection. And anything above 30, that is your SPF 50s, give you 98% protection. So here you're looking at that 1% that will give you more protection than your previous sunscreens. So for Indian skin type, I would say anything above SPF 30 is good enough. You do not have to overdo it by using SPF 100 or SPF 200. Not required. SPF 30 and above is good enough.
The next myth, it's also very common that in the morning we are applying sunscreen, right? But then there's sweat, there's water, there's everything. So the next myth is that sunscreen wears off with sweat and water. Is that true?
Yes, definitely. Sunscreen does come off, but right now we have such good sunscreens like your water resistant and your sweat resistant sunscreens, which stay on your skin for more than 3 to 4 hours. So initially we would say apply your sunscreen every 2 to 3 hours, but with the new advances in beautiful sunscreens, we have to repeat it maybe once or twice in a day, and that will suffice for the entire day.
That's amazing to hear. So next myth is actually also very common. So many people, they apply sunscreen in the morning and they expect for the next 24 hours they don't need to reapply it and it will give them protection all 24 hours. Is that true?
No, unfortunately, we do not have sunscreens which give 24 hours protection, though some of them do claim. I would say repeating sunscreen every 4 to 5 hours or once every 6 hours is definitely better than not repeating it at all.
The next myth is that sunscreen only has to be applied on face. Tell me more about it.
Sun does not hit only your face, right?
That's true.
Any sun exposed area is going to be affected by harmful rays of the sun. So all sun exposed areas, you need to apply sunscreen and not just the face.
So Dr. Seema, what are some of your general tips for our viewers?
General tips for our viewers would be use a good cleanser, use a good moisturizer, especially when it's winters and when the weather is a little cold. But otherwise, start your mornings with a good cleanser, a sunscreen. Evenings, don't go to bed without cleansing your face. That is the basic things. Along with that, maintain a healthy lifestyle, do your exercises, eat a lot of vegetables and fruits that are rich in vitamin C and vitamin A. Make sure you eat your proteins for your, good hair growth. And maintain a healthy lifestyle, no smoking, alcohol, all that is out of the picture. So if you can take care of your health that way, I think you'll be blessed with really good skin.
That's very helpful. So as you said, there are so many factors which affect our skin. Not only the external skincare we apply, but also stress management, diet, exercise.
Definitely.
So can you tell us more about the role of all of it in our skincare?
Like I said, you have to include your proteins and vitamins in your diet. Keep your diet healthy, less processed food, less eating outside and oily food. Maintain a balanced diet. That will be helpful. Stress, yes. Stress is the one thing that can cause a lot of damage to your skin and for the rest of your body. So having a lifestyle which is stress-free helps. Going on exercises, having a good time with your friends and, balancing your day on a day-to-day basis, getting good amount of sleep, less gadget exposure, definitely plays a major role in having beautiful skin.
In today's time, we are all hyperfixated on the Eurocentric standards of beauty. Everyone always compliments white skin. Many clinics are also offering skin whitening services. But we are Indians and our natural color is wheatish. So my question to you is, can wheatish skin be beautiful?
Sia, when we started this interview, I think you complimented me saying I'm beautiful. I'm wheatish. So you would be the deciding factor. You're beautiful. You're wheatish. So I would definitely say wheatish is beautiful. It is gorgeous. It is something to flaunt. The European standards of white beauty is so,
It's absurd.
Yes, absolutely. I would say we have to, celebrate our wheatish complexion. We are gorgeous, golden women. We need to emphasize on how beautiful wheatish skin is. Brown is beautiful.
That's very true. Brown is indeed beautiful. So on the occasion of National Sunscreen Day, we noticed that nowadays global warming is rising a lot. The sun is a bit too cruel on us nowadays and it seems like the summer season is going all year round. So these days with the rising heat temperatures, increased sun exposure, what are your tips for our viewers to improve their skincare regarding the global warming?
First and foremost, hydrate yourself, have a good diet, sleep, lead a stress-free life. Don't get overworked on petty things. There are larger things, in this earth to worry about. Sunscreen usage, use good products, use a good moisturizer. Don't overuse products. There's a lot of advertisements about that acid, this acid, your AHAs and BHAs. Please consult your dermatologist before you even try these over-the-counter products. Some of them can be extremely dangerous and cause permanent damage on your skin. So it is definitely important that you educate yourself or you seek help from people who are, in that field, who have studied, who have done enough research to take care of your skin. Don't go by what the latest trends are, whatever is trending on Insta or on, or your social media. Please be careful before you put anything inside your mouth and on your skin.
That's very, very, very helpful advice. So thank you so much for taking your precious time out of your busy schedule and spending it here with us. And I'm sure that your advices must help our viewers achieve a radiant, glowy skin. And as we emphasized earlier, a beautiful and healthy skin.
Yes, absolutely.
So thank you so much for spending these moments with us. And thank you so much to our viewers for connecting with us today again. Don't forget to connect us again on our hashtag Sunscreen Must podcast. We are available on Instagram, YouTube, Apple, and Spotify Music. Thank you.